Well, old Sam I am, he's the fix-it man. Got grease on his knuckles and a master plan. He gets those old engines running again with the good Lord's help and a prayer, amen.
So you can't get your lawnmower to run. Well, it could be that your engine has low compression. So today, I'm going to show you a couple ways you can check that to make sure that it's good. Let's get into it. One of the first things that you can do is simply pull on your pull starter and feel the engine. If you feel some resistance, it's highly likely that your engine does have some compression in it. Another way is to remove the spark plug, and I'll show you that. First of all, locate your spark plug. In this particular model, it's on the front of the engine. You want to remove the spark plug boot, get that out of the way. I'm going to show you a close-up. We want to remove the spark plug from the engine, so we'll find out where the spark plug's at. You'll see the wire in the boot. Take that boot off the spark plug, and then take your ratchet. In this case, it's a 13/16 socket. Put it on there and remove that spark plug. And you're going to want to be able to pull the pull start cord. So one thing that I do is I put a clamp on the handlebar right there on the kill switch. I'll show you that. So as you can see, I put this vice grip needle nose on the handlebar to hold this kill switch bar down, or dead man bar. That way we can pull over the engine by hand and not have to be up here. You can also use a spring clamp. You can use a zip tie. I mean, pretty much whatever to kind of bypass this safety. Okay, since we have our dead man switch on the handlebar clamped down, we have our spark plug removed. What we're going to do is we're going to grab hold of this pull cord and we're going to pull it just like we were going to start the engine, just like that. And then with the other hand, you're going to take your finger and put it in the spark plug hole. You don't have to put it in there tight. You want it kind of over the hole, or kind of in there, sort of lightly seated, so that you can feel whether or not the piston is going to try to push air out of the cylinder to see if you have compression. And you can hear it too. You can hear that puffing air out of the cylinder. And I'll do this, you can kind of hear it better. And that's kind of a good way to check your compression if you don't have a compression tester. There's another way we'll show you as well. I kind of call these like a poor man's method of checking compression. To do this next method, we want to put the spark plug back in. These first two are probably pretty easy to do. The third one I'm about to show you is easy as well, but you'd have to get on the underside of the mower. Leave this wire off. Leave the dead man kill switch on the handlebar. Leave that clamp down when you do this. But we want that wire off of there so that the engine doesn't accidentally start up. So what we'll do next is we're going to take the lawnmower and we're going to tilt it up on its side. We want to tilt it up with carburetor side up. try to remember that. And get to the underside. And it's a good idea to put you some gloves on if you have them, some good heavy duty leather gloves. I've got some right here, just in case this blade is sharp. And what you want to do is turn the blade just like it was cutting grass, and you can feel whether or not that engine has compression. You can take the blade and kind of sling it right there, and you can feel it. See how it's springing back? That's because this engine has good compression. What that's doing is the piston is coming up in the cylinder and it's compressing the air, and that air is acting like a cushion, like a shock absorber. And that's why that blade is bouncing back, just like that. So that's a third way you can test whether or not your lawnmower has compression. All right, so probably the most accurate way to check to see if this engine has good compression is to do an actual compression test using a compression gauge to actually measure the PSI on this engine. So we'll take the spark plug out. I've got several different compression gauges. This is the most accurate way to do this. Grab my compression gauge. It looks something like this, although I have another one. This has several different thread pitches for different size spark plug holes. And I have another one. This is my older one here. Same thing, you got a gauge, you've got a hose with a quick connect, and then this one also has several different thread pitches for different threaded spark plug holes. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your spark plug gauge, or excuse me, take your compression gauge out, and then you got to figure out, like I said, which one of these fits. You can take your spark plug, and put the threads there, and then compare it to the threads on these different adapters. So take it, and this is just an easy way to do it, and then just see if those threads will line up. That looks good. And then test it in the spark plug hole. Make sure to thread in there. You don't want to force it. You don't want to cross thread this thing. So just take your time. Thread it in there nice and snug. You don't have to tighten this thing down, so much that you can't get it off of there. You just want it on there snug. We'll put our compression gauge on there and give it a few pulls and see what we get. Now, if I just pull it real easy, probably not going to show a whole lot of compression because a lot of these engines have, so we're looking at like, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, right under 50, looks like 45. Yeah, right under 45 PSI there on the gauge. But a lot of engines have decompression systems in them to work off the camshaft. I'll pull it faster, may go up a little bit. So now we're looking at 55, 60 PSI, which 60, pulling it like that is pretty normal. Another thing you can do is we can take that pull start off. Here, we'll go up there. Get a little bit better view here. We'll pop that pull start off, and I will turn the engine over with a drill. If you turn it over with the drill, it spins faster, and a lot of times you can overcome that decompression system. It'll give you a better reading. Okay. So that gives us access to the flywheel nut. And we can take a socket, 3/4. And I've got a little ratcheting adapter here. I'll go clockwise. And that ratcheting adapter allows that thing, if it wants to do something weird, it'll ratchet it so it doesn't mess up your drill or mess anything up. Just take that, put it in your drill. Snug. Now we can spin that engine over a whole lot faster and see what kind of compression we get. Oops. Come on, baby. All right. Let's see what our gauge says. Should say above 50. Oh, yeah. So now we got 50, 60, 70, 80. About 80 psi on our gauge now, which is really good. So that's how you use a compression gauge to check the compression on a small engine like this. Take all that back off and put it back in the box. Put your spark plug back in and put the recoil back on there. And that's how you check compression on a lawnmower like this. And you can do basically the same things on other small equipment, string trimmers, chainsaws, edgers. I mean, it's basically the same thing. When you're dealing with a two-stroke, you don't have to worry about having a decompression system like is on a lawnmower. Some of the bigger saws do have a decomp valve or decompression valve. You want to make sure that's not pushed in, because you want to make sure when you're measuring it that you're measuring the full compression. All right, do all that. Put your boot back on there and go from there. All right, guys, so there were just a few simple methods and ways that you can check the compression on your lawnmower or small engine. I hope this video was a help to you. Do remember that the other video with the spray bottle method, that is another way to check your compression and spark really simply without having to do all these tests. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that. That'll narrow down your issue to just a fuel delivery problem. But if that method doesn't work and your engine's still not starting, you may want to do this and check the compression, because it could be that you have another issue, such as you could have stuck valves, you have a burnt valve, carbon buildup. Your valves could be out of adjustment, could have worn out piston rings or scoring in the cylinder, or a number of issues like that. So if it's not running by being bottle fed or off that spray bottle method or starter fluid, then you probably want to try to check the compression to make sure your compression's okay. If your compression checks out, then you want to do a spark test to make sure your engine's getting spark. I've got a video on that as well, so check that out. But hope this video was a help to you. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment, and don't forget to subscribe as well. Y'all have a great day, and remember, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Y'all have a blessed one, and I'll see you on the next one.
Well, old Sam I am, he's the fix-it man. Got grease on his knuckles and a master plan. He gets those old engines running again with the good Lord's help and a prayer, amen.